Yeah, no, I mean, first, as you know, it's an active investigation ongoing, so I can't comment much other than to say, I'm glad our guys are okay. I want our guys, I want all of our community to be safe. The Cleveland Police has been outstanding. Chief Drummond and I spoke yesterday. We want everybody to be safe, and we want to get violent people off of our streets.
Kevin, how are the players doing today? That had to be a little bit scary going through that.
Yeah, again, I don't want to comment too much other than to say, yeah, this is something that we take very seriously. Obviously, our organization, our players are aware of things that we got to make sure we're doing to keep ourselves safe, but we just will continue to educate our guys, and then, in this particular instance, I'm really happy that those guys are okay.
What did you think, Garrett, now that he's here? Does he look like the old Garrett?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Myles has he always takes very good care of himself, works very hard in the offseason, so he looks like the normal Myles to me.
Is that as good as you've seen Deshaun look in a 7-on-7 drill that we just watched?
Yeah, I mean, I think you always got to be real careful. Former defensive back speaking now, 7-on-7 is geared to the offense. You should complete balls in 7-on-7. I'm the head coach, not the offensive head coach.
Kevin, saw Jakeem out there fielding some punts. Just his progress and how good is it to see him, get to that stage of the recovery?
Yeah, he's coming along. He works really hard. Still working hard in the meeting room. Even though he's not taking reps out here, he's still a major part of it. And then able to slowly bring him along with the return game. And Jakeem's a pro. I love having him around, and he's working really hard.
Coach, what's at the top of the priority to-do list this week?
Yeah, I think there's a bunch of things, Tom. I think for us, this whole offseason is about building a foundation, and that's foundational fundamentals, techniques, schemes, relationships, all those things. So in order to get where you want to go in the season, you got to make sure that you spend this offseason not skipping any steps. So this mini camp is really the final step in our offseason program. So every one of these meetings, every one of these periods, every one of these walkthroughs are important to us. Every rep has to count.
Kevin, you mentioned the pace earlier. What are those conversations to the players about where it obviously can't be full go, but you still need to see work?
Yeah, we constantly talk about it. I'll tell you, it's really hard. It's hard on the guys up front. There will be a time, and it will be in July and August when we have pads on, where you can come off the ball and it looks like football. When you're in helmets and based on the rules where they do not want contact with the helmet or the shoulders, they don't want contact at the point of attack, and that's agreed upon between the PA and the NFL. So we just want to abide by those rules. So it's not perfect. I know it's hard from a mentality standpoint for, again, guys up front, but we can get a lot of work done from an alignment and assignment standpoint in these drills.
Kevin, is this car theft thing an opportunity for you to kind of tell the guys another cautionary tale for where they are and when they're there and how to be safe for themselves?
Yeah, I think, as you can imagine, Mary Kay, everything that we see in our game there's things that you always try to teach off of. I take things from the headlines every day to teach off of. So an instance like this, again, I want to reiterate that I'm happy our guys are okay. This is a violent crime, and we got to make sure that those people aren't on our streets. But we can always use opportunities to educate.
Is Anthony Schwartz battling an injury?
Yes.
What is?
I'm not going to get into specifics, but he was out there today.
Amari went up and got one in the end zone today. Just what can you say about the progress he's made coming back from that core muscle surgery?
Yeah, Daryl, since he got out there and started doing Indy, he honestly looked exactly like the old Amari to me, which is a guy that works really hard, comes off the ball with explosive movement, catches everything. So he's looked like himself. We just are going to be real smart about how we bring him along.
Donovan
A
had
couple more?
a couple of catches in the back of the end zone where he got his feet down and had to field awareness there. Again, it's 7-on-7s, I know that, but that's what you want to see in 7-on-7s.
Yeah, and as you know, Donovan's such a trustworthy target for the quarterbacks. He's always exactly where he needs to be from a route perspective, from a depth perspective, and then to have ball skills like he does and throw it to a spot where only he can get it, and he has the wherewithal to get his feet down. So, Donovan, I think we talk about him like he's a young player. He's a pro now, and that's kind of what pros do.
Kevin, what have you thought of Tillman? I think he made the one nice catch.
Yeah, I think Sed's done a nice job. I think, like a all of our rookies, he's swimming at times. We're throwing a lot of information at them. He's very, very, very intelligent, so he's getting it. But it's a lot, and we want them to – we don't want to give them just pieces of it. We want to give them everything and just make them feel how much they have to work at this thing. So a lot of our rookies, Set included, are inundated with information and meetings, and he's doing a really nice job. I think you saw, like you mentioned, I mean, that's his physical trait, the ability to just go body it up and go get the football, and Dorian and he have been doing that for a long time. But I think Sed's doing a really, really nice job, and like a lot of our rookies, he's learning.
What do you like the idea of putting Zadarius Smith inside? How does that maximize your?
Yeah, I think Coach Schwartz and our defensive staff, you're always looking for matchups and to have versatility among that front. I mean, really all of our DNs can rush inside, and that allows you game by game to move the pieces around as you see fit.
Hey, Kevin, close this out, Nate. Speaking of Schwartz, do you see a common thread between like what he and Bubba Ventrone are bringing to your team as coordinators?
I don't know that there's a common thread. I mean, obviously two guys that I think very highly of, the people and the coaches. I think they're doing a really nice job with their units. And like all of us, we're just trying to focus on the work here and focus on, minicamp number one. And I know Coach Schwartz and Coach Ventrone and the offensive staff want to get back in there and make a bunch of corrections and be better tomorrow. Okay, thanks guys, appreciate it. Thank you.
Coach. Thank you.
Yeah, y'all go ahead and slide over to Rodney.
What's happening, Myles?
Oh, nothing much.
Myles, if you wouldn't mind, first perhaps addressing the fact that, two of your teammates, and I know good friends of yours, obviously, were victims of this car robbery. How is this impacting you and them and the team today?
I mean, I'm just glad to see they're all right. Saw Perry on yesterday and saw Greg today, and just making sure they're in the right headspace. They're, feel like they're surrounded by family, and letting them know that anything that they need, we're the perfect resource for them, and we have their back and with whatever happens. And we're just going to try to make sure that none of our guys are ever in that situation again, and how we can help. We're going to do that. But I'm just glad to see them safe and sound, and with us, and still walking around, still blessed to this day. No matter what happens, still able to wake up in the morning, and just glad that we still have them here.
Does it ever enter your mind, Myles, especially you? I mean, you're very recognizable in this town. People know who you are. People know who Greg are. Like, what's that like? I'm not saying you ever feel unsafe out there, but that's got to be some things that kind of cross your mind when you're that well noticed,
Yeah, but I try to be pretty incognito, and when I can't, I don't know. I don't have any pride, so I think at the end of the day, if someone wants to come up and they have bad intentions, there's nothing that's going to stop them from approaching you or me. It doesn't matter who it is. At the end of the day, try to make a peaceful a situation more peaceful than it is. Make it end better than what might happen on the other side of things. And I think there's a lot of things that. There are possibilities in those situations, but just try to make sure you come out of it with you're safe and sound, your body, your health, and anything that's material, that's you can't take it with you. It can be replaced, but you can't be replaced. And make sure you try not to put yourself in those situations, but if it does happen, just try to make sure you make it as easy as possible to walk away from it.
How dismayed are you? I mean, you love this city. You're always out and about in the city, and you've invested so much time and resources here. How dismayed are you that something like this is happening here?
I'm not dismayed at all. At the end of the day, it shows that me, my team, and I think all of us here at the Browns have more to do, have more work to do in the community to make it, to show that there's more that we can do here. That we have there's still more lessons that we need to give each other, because it's not just one side or another side. Things like this happen because of so many different actions that led up to that, and for them to feel like they have to do that for whatever needs, whether it's fund or funds or a thrill, whatever it is. let them know that this is not the action that they need to take to get what they want.
How grateful are you that the players weren't injured?
I'm very grateful. I mean, they're my friends, my teammates. We're all part of a family, so I'm just glad they're here. And at the end of the day, we've got to do better as a community, and we've got to set an example. And it starts with us, and then we've got to go out into the community and show that we're better. We're all better than this, and how to lead by example.
So football, Myles, I mean, first practice of the offseason, so to speak here, how does it feel and how good is it to be back?
It's good to be back. I like being around the guys. Like, times like this, it's good to see, how much guys, how much strides they've taken, and how mindsets have changed. How much they've been working with each other, new moves, stuff like that. And everyone's really came in, especially today, with a positive outlook and a mindset, and just everybody's ready to roll. I love to see it.
Myles, how has the toe felt since you've been able to get out here on the field?
I get a little sore every now and then, but it's not going to hold me back. I'm just going to have a little still big toe, and we'll still get sacked.
Myles, how much have you and Z talked since he was acquired here, and what was it like to get out there on the field with him today, for the first time?
We've texted back and forth, talk about different things, different ideas, but it's good to see him in person. We haven't really got that opportunity other than today and yesterday. And he really has a very outgoing personality. He's really bubbly, really fun, and I have moments of that, but he's got it all the time. So really just trying to find where our chemistry lies. But I think we can have a lot of fun, and we could really make some things happen on the field and really elevate this team.
Did you come up with the name for the D-line yet?
Not yet. That was one of the talks yesterday, so we're still working on that. We got a little bit of time before preseason.
What do you see the potential for this group?
I mean, as far as we want to take it, I think the guys that we have are very talented in many ways, and there's a lot of different skill sets that we have on the D-line. But you have a lot of guys who have just been waiting on this opportunity that we have to this freedom that we've been given. I know sports like to say, take off the seatbelt. So, I think that's really the mindset. You get out there and you're just letting it loose. Don't worry about all these rules and doing all this. As soon as you know your assignment, after that you get off the ball and FSU, get to the ball.
Myles, with this being the first time we've talked to you since Darius got here, what was your reaction when you saw news about that trade?
I was happy. At first, I was like, I don't believe TMZ. But when I heard it from my dad, I was like, all right, now I can believe it. So I was excited. Oh, yeah, I let myself be happy. I was like, I'm a little bit cautiously optimistic.
Myles, Z and Siaki were two players that have been outspoken about wanting to be your friend, and they are both very outgoing personalities. What's it like kind of learning their chemistry along with your personality and meshing those?
I'm here if you need me. I'll be here every day. So if they want to come up or they want to hang or whatever it is, I'm here for them. They're going to be part of this team, part of this family, and we're all going to go grow very close this year. And how we don't choose to do that, we'll see. But I know those guys. They have great personalities and they're great guys. So I'm looking forward to it.
What's your first impression of what Jim, the addition of Jim Schwartz this offseason? From outside, it seems pretty significant, but from your perspective, what's your first impression of it?
I think it just helps simplify things, and I don't think that's a knock on Joe. I think you really have to be intent on knowing your personnel and trying to tune in what their skill sets and their abilities and their capabilities are. And if you put too much on somebody's plate rather than someone else's, that can lead to disruption and really a disconnection between sometimes groups on the field. And I think we saw that early in the season with some of the big misreads that we had in the back end. And I think he's really helped really break it down for some of the guys in the back end. I think he's done the same up front, allowing us to really, play free, studying the playbook while I was gone. It's pretty deep, but it's all still pretty simple.
Myles, what did it mean to you to have Jim Brown here throughout your career, just in terms of greatness and what it means to be who he was, and how did his passing impact you?
I mean, Jim Brown was everything here. It's in the name. And at the end of the day, he was the very first person that called me to tell me that I was coming here, and that they were glad to have me be a Cleveland Brown and be a part of this organization. And that still means a lot to me, because that's as great as it gets as a football player, as a man, as a spokesman for inequality, for civil rights. I mean, he's done it all. I think he's been the blueprint. He's been the role model for a lot of us as players and as men. So we look up to him. We're very sad about his passing, and we still are going to try and do our best for him.
Myles, as a veteran, you've obviously gone through a lot of off seasons. You know what it takes now at this point?
A lot. Whoa.
Well, not a lot, but more than a few, more than a couple. Because, not being here for minicamp, obviously we know you're working on your own, and but what was that process kind of like, figuring that out of what you need to get ready for the season?
Really just a communication with Coach. I'm just getting on the same page about when he wanted me here, when he didn't. Making sure that I got up here early to meet with the new coaches, talking to the new guys, making sure that we had a dialogue and everything was communicated thoroughly, so that there was nobody on the wrong page. And so we got it all worked out, and I was where I needed to be, working on my game, taking care of myself and my health, and I think it's all worked out.
What does that mean to have that, respect's lack of a better term, but just kind of be able to have that dialogue, to be able to have a coach you can talk to and have that respect of when I'm going to be here and when I'm not?
That's what it means to have a true players coach. Someone who's willing to listen to his players and what they need, and how they view themselves getting better. And when I'm here, I'm all in, and I'm doing exactly what everyone else is doing. But when I have the opportunity to get away and go where I think I can take it up another notch and grow as a person, as a player, he's been willing to give me that freedom.
Myles, obviously you've had a ton of success. Do you think Jim's system and the way he wants you guys to play up front can free you up even more?
That's what he said. And I think there's definitely opportunity for that. He's going to put me in position, and us in position to make plays. I don't think he's just going to be looking for 95 and make one-on-ones. Sure, that's going to happen, and I'm sure in key points and moments in the game, we're going to try to get someone free. And if that works for me, then it works for me. But at the end of the day, we're just trying to get one-on-ones across the board. And I think that's just a nod to him, because you can't just key in on one guy. And if the offense chooses to not let me get a one-on-one that day, then we just have to make sure the other guys are freed up and able to make plays.
Myles, what's it like now to have two guys on the D-line that were both in the conversation for NFL Defensive Player of the Year last season, and how important is it for you guys to really set the tone, get along, and just take this thing where it can go?
Last year was last year, so we're looking forward to just showing that we're a really strong and steady group throughout the whole year, making sure that everyone's on the same page. We're performing to our expectations, and then we continue to keep on raising the ante. I think there's a lot of room for growth here on the field, especially before preseason. Everyone getting adjusted to the new playbook, but it's definitely a very new thing for me to have a really big talent like him, someone who recently been up for DPOI, and I think he's a valuable resource on and off the field. And looking forward to seeing not only him, but Obo and some of the younger guys grow up before our eyes and start making those consistently big plays.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thanks a lot, Myles.
What's up? How you doing?
Good.
Nice to get in some 11-on-11s and get back out there and play some almost football.
Yeah, of course. It's always fun to come out here and put my skill set on display. So having a lot of fun.
Going up and getting that touchdown the way you did, does that give you a little confidence that you're where you want to be physically coming off that surgery?
Yeah, of course. Just to come out here and be able to feel good again, it's a great feeling. You know, you never really want to play hurt. It's not very pleasant, but you got to do what you got to do.
7-on-7s are all offense usually. You guys look like you did everything you wanted to in 7-on-7s. Is that the way it's supposed to look to you?
Yeah, I mean, you have no pass rush. It's really like pitch and catch out there. I mean, obviously the DBs make plays sometimes, but it's not a level playing field for them when we're doing 7-on-7. So it should look like that every time.
Amari, what were your thoughts on Deshaun saying last week that he would love for the team to add DeAndre Hopkins?
I didn't see that, but who wouldn't? DeAndre has been a very great player in this league. Obviously, they have a lot of chemistry. If I was him, I'd want the same thing.
But if that took catches away from you, how would you feel about that?
You said what?
If adding DeAndre Hopkins would diminish your catch total, what would you feel about that?
I mean, yeah, you had a great receiver like that. That's probably going to happen because there's only one ball. You know, everybody got to get their touches. So, I mean, as long as it's helping us win, I wouldn't have a problem with it.
Hey, Amari, obviously you guys have banked more reps with Deshaun. What was most noticeable to you in how different he is than this time a year ago?
He looks in a bit of a better groove. Just, having that long layoff, of course, you're going to lose some rhythm, some form of rhythm, but he looks like he's really getting that back.
Back to the wide receivers, Amari, like that room, now that you've seen him on the field, just what's your vibe on having Elijah here, Marquise, obviously you, Donovan, David, like just your vibe on that room overall?
Yeah, the vibe has been pretty good overall. I mean, even other position groups are seeing it, a lot of plays are being made out there coming from the receiver position, so it looks good so far.
Amari, if the Browns do sign DeAndre and you and him are on the field at the same time, that's a pretty darn formidable wide receiving core to have to go against, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's more than one way to skin a cat. I think our skill sets are a little different, but we both get the job done. With DeAndre, he's pretty unstoppable with the way he uses his hands and his body to position himself well to make the catch. So it'll be pretty good.
Amari, with the guys that you've added already, the Elijah, Marquise, Cedric, like they all have something that maybe you guys didn't have the exact same thing here last year. Like just having those different kinds of guys with different skills so far, how much of a difference in the offense and in the pass game do you notice?
Yeah, I mean, the more the merrier. The more guys that can make plays, the more plays that are going to be made. It's just that simple. So I think that's the philosophy behind it.
This time of year, Amari, everything gets overanalyzed. But for you as a player, what do you look for during minicamp to get out of it or to come out of it feeling good going into summer vacation?
Just the culture that we're building. How we all interact with each other in the locker room. How the vibe of the practice is going. Are we being disciplined enough to practice the right way? Just the little things right now.
From what you can tell right now, are you going to be 100% first contact practice and training camp?
God willing.
How much did that injury affect you last year?
A lot down the stretch. Like I said before, it just wasn't very pleasant to play through it. But it's just a part of the game. But it definitely affected me, yeah.
Have you had any issues in the rehab since you had that surgery in February?
Little things here and there, but nothing that was not expected.
Amari, when Deshaun talked to us last week, he talked about just overall like feeling more comfortable in his second year. I guess, do you guys feel that from him as receivers, that he's settling in more?
Yeah, I mean, he made a throw today, and right when he released it, I said, great throw. I didn't even know if it was a great throw, but I just felt that it was, and it was right on the money. So it was not to me. No, I wasn't in. But, yeah, he's definitely getting more comfortable, like he said, getting his rhythm back, looking like Deshaun.
Was that the one to DPJ over the middle that he threaded the needle?
Amari, do you see some young guys out there like flocking to you, kind of talking, especially when you were a couple of weeks ago when you were working to the side out there talking to guys? Do you see that maybe increasing?
Yeah, I mean, we all communicated. That was our number one goal at the receiver position, as a collective, to communicate better with each other. So yeah, they've definitely been asking me questions. Shoot, I ask them questions. I'm coming back off of injury. I often ask them how I'm looking on routes and stuff like that. So just better communication overall.
One of the stories last week, Amari, was Marquise and just how fast he really still is. Like,
Yeah.
what is it, when you see him out there at, 31? I mean, that's pretty impressive, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very impressive. You know, he's doing something right. I gotta tap in with him. He looks like he doesn't just look good. He looks like he feels good as well. So that's a credit to him taking care of his body and being a pro.
What do you think that vertical threat will do for the rest of you guys?
It's going to do a lot. I'm already seeing it. First of all, Deshaun loves throwing the vertical passes downfield. So I know he's going to throw them. And Goodwin, he isn't just fast, but he's a football player. He knows how to track the ball. He knows how to run those deep balls. So I think it's going to be phenomenal for us, for sure.
I know you guys are going to be throwing the ball more with Watson the full season, but how many actual new plays are there? Do you see a lot of new plays that you're running?
Yeah, of course. You gotta be able to come up with new plays and new concepts. You know, it's a copycat league. I mean, you know, stuff that was working in the league 10 years ago, you know, teams catch on really fast, so you always have to be able to adapt. So, of course, we've been adding new plays.
How about Elijah? What's he bringing to the table? What does he add to the core?
Yeah, he's adding a lot. He's another threat, another guy who can get open, create space, and make it easy for Deshaun. So that's what I'm saying. Like, we got a lot of threats in the receiver room now. So we'll see.
All good?
Thanks, Mark. Thanks, Mark.
Thanks.
21st, still got to talk, right?
I think that's it.
No Nick today?
Oh, that's right, Charles. All right, I get this safe. All the other Reds are back already.
Okay.
There's a Cooper. Boom.
Has it been hazy? Is that because of those Canadian fires?
Oh, you know what? I was just looking at that, and I don't even know where those wildfires are. I was just there. I gotta figure that out.
I will say it does not feel like it's only 70 degrees out there.